Welcome to Reckless Paradise, everybody. I am your host, Marissa, and I'm here with my co host, Dystro. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
So, happy Saturday for us who are actually recording on a Saturday, but happy Sunday to you guys who are listening because you guys will not get this episode till February 11th. There's a little bit of backstory behind this, why we're pre recording this episode a week early. Number one, February 11th is Super Bowl Sunday. And as you guys know, my dad works as a delivery driver for a local pizza place here. Get the point? Yeah. Very busy. Very, very busy. So didn't have time to record the episode on that day. So we're like, fuck it. Let's pre-record it a week early. So that way we have it in the books for you guys. So we don't let you guys down. You know how we roll, we don't let you down. We never let you down. Ever, 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 ever.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
Never, ever, ever, for never, ever.
Never, 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 ever, ever.
You remember that episode?
It's not even funny. But it's like, I think it's just because we would both be, well, your dad would be super, super busy on Super Bowl Sunday, and we don't really want to try to record while doing that because she's got to, go with him on certain deliveries and all that stuff.
And
Because
it would cause interruptions, so
yeah, so we just decided, you know what, fuck it, we'll go do it live.
we'll
Fuck
do
it.
it. We'll do it early, and honestly, it's an easy episode to do anyway. So let's do it. So, again, happy Sunday to those of you who are listening on the day this comes out. I hope everybody is having a good start to February. I know that I am so far. I've recovered completely from COVID, which is what I'm pretty much gonna be talking about in this episode. My experience of COVID. But how are you doing, Dystro?
I'm doing all right. I not too long ago I just celebrated. Well, at the time of this recording, I had just celebrated. I guess in I guess celebrated in your quotes. I just passed a milestone of being working 2 years at my work.
Golf clap, golf clap. Jimmy John's, Jimmy John's. Still haven't gotten my order.
You've been talking about this for like what,
2
2
years.
years? You will get it in the mail.
Jeez, it's an awfully slow mail carrier then. Golly.
It's going by foot.
It's going by foot. Oh my god.
But yeah, but we do really appreciate you guys coming for to this episode when it does come out. Also, happy Super Bowl Sunday when it does come out.
Yes,
Um,
I don't really care about football.
Football.
Fuck football. I'm looking forward to the Daytona 500. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think that's this weekend, isn't it?
No, it's like the weekend after Super Bowl. That's usually how it goes.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, like when Super Bowl
Yeah,
comes and goes, everyone's like, "Oh shit, Daytona's coming."
yeah. It's February 18th.
Wow, jeez. I'll be watching Daytona for this year.
It's like is it just weird that I just don't care about the Daytona 500?
Boo!
Hey, hey, hey.
You better start caring. You gotta start rooting
My
for my
my
driver.
my uncle, before he had passed several years ago, he used to watch NASCAR. Uh, I think I think it was either Jeff Bush or Dale, like his
You
like
mean? Do you mean Jeff Gordon?
Jeff Gordon. I don't know why I said Jeff Bush.
You're thinking Kyle Busch.
Kyle Bush. It's either Kyle Bush, Jeff Gordon, or Dale. Like was his like favorites.
I mean, everybody loved Dale Jr. when he was still racing.
I don't think he cared for Dale that much. I think he cared more about Jeff Gordon. But I I
Teach their own.
I mean I didn't really care about NASCAR. I don't really care about NASCAR. I'm like, okay, cool, it's like, yeah, it's like there's this comedian that does this joke, and it's like, yeah, just a lot of men and in cars and all that stuff, and doing making a left turn, another left turn, and another left turn. Oh my gosh,
Turn.
you'll never know what happens next.
A left
Left turn.
turn. crap.
I was like, yep, that's true. But it's like with football, it's I don't know if it's just me, but it's like I just love like when certain people like get tackled or get like hit from a certain position because it's like you just never know, you just never anticipate it.
If you guys haven't already figured it out, this episode is shoot the shit.
Yes.
Trying to figure out what number we're on. We're on 16, episode 16.
16.
I'm starting to lose track. So
Well, that's why I've been writing them down. So
yeah. So this past month has been terrible. January was an absolute shit show from the start. Like even from the start, it was a shit show, and I think I talked about that in episode 15. It
mhm.
started terrible for me, with the passing of somebody I know. Actually, it was a couple people I know that ended up passing away. Mentally, I just not been in a good place at all. I recently just kind of got my heart played a little bit.
Yeah.
Said guy kind of like barely like we went from like snapping constantly every day, talking and stuff. We even called on Discord, I think, twice. To now, like now that he's in a relationship, because apparently I waited too long to say anything. Now that he's in a relationship, we barely talk. Like we haven't even actually said any words to each other in like a week. Like it's just like a couple snaps a day. I just send him a black screen because he don't dare deserve to see my beautiful face. Um, that's how I feel. I'm snappy today. Uh,
Snap it.
snappy. Um, yeah, that's literally what's happened. Like now, I just kind of like he's ghosting me. Like I've seen him online, and he doesn't reply back like right away. Like he doesn't reply to my snaps right away. It's like okay, I see where I stand. I'm not priority, and that's fine because I know my friends are priority. Like they always choose me first. So
And we always love you.
yes, and I love my friends too. All freaking four of you, including Jaden.
If you're listening to this, hi Jaden.
Hey, Jaden and Kevin.
That's my big
Big
homie.
homie. We need to get him to actually listen to this fucking show.
Yeah, we need to.
I mean,
Um,
he said in the past he has listened to our episodes before, but I just don't know which ones he has.
oh, I don't even know. Like, I would have
If
to
you're
ask him.
listening, you better. If you're listening to this right now, we're like 7 minutes in, almost 8 minutes in. Text me on Messenger if you're listening to this because hi.
When it comes out, Kev. When it comes
When it
out.
comes out, yeah.
Um, but yeah, like that kind of sucks. I was actually like talking to Kens about that situation last night.
Nice
I was
piece of
like,
shit.
I was like, like I even said like I think I even talked. Well, I didn't. I talked to myself about this. Like I said, yeah, gotta have your little me time,
Yes.
but like I even said, I was like, what you had said in safe place chat about like you kind of waited too long. I mean, that shit happens. But then like it was like 3 days later, he said, "Oh well, I don't really like this relationship that I have going on right now." And it's like, well, I guess he's got some priorities, I guess, because it's like he's not really vibing with that relationship or whatever at that time.
And look where that fucking went. Like I haven't heard anything about the relationship. We haven't said any words to each other in about a week. All my snaps to him, I've been sending a black screen because fuck it. And yeah, like when he snaps me, like let's just say, okay, so I'm gonna go on my snap right now. I snapped him about 16 minutes ago. It's gonna take him about 4 or 5 hours to respond. And last time he was on, oh, 2 minutes ago. Yeah, that's literally how it's been going the last oh god, week, 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Barely talking. Well, actually, not talking at all. And it's just like snaps, like pictures back and forth. And my pictures are all black screens because fuck it. Um, but yeah, fuck relationships. I don't want anybody.
I mean, it's always good to have a little me time to yourself, I
It's
guess.
always good to have friends, and that's where I stand. I have a lot of friends. Most of them are guys. I mean, even in school, I had a lot of guy friends. And Corey, who has been my friend for the longest time, longer than you and Ken's combined, Corey can back me up on this. I've always had a lot of guy friends in school, and that's kind of how I am today. I have a lot of guy friends because I just vibe with them more, you know? Like I feel more comfortable around them. But
I guess.
as soon as I start to try to get to know a guy in terms of getting into a relationship with them, I freeze up. It's like, no, I'm more better having him as a friend. It's like it's so weird how I am. With females, like I only have a few female friends, which is a little odd, but I mean, teach their own, you know, it's just how I am. I'm not at all a tomboy, even though I try to be like the boys, you know, gotta be like the boys in the group, you know, our little friend group. Um, I'm by all means, I'm not a tomboy. I look like a cigarette mom right now. I'm wearing an oversized band T-shirt, which just so happens to be Billy Talent. Um, it's just I look like a cigarette mom. You know that cigarette mom TikTok girl, Kimberly?
Yeah, yeah.
I always freaking compare myself to her. Like I relate to her so much. Like
The way you said it too, you're like, like I look like a cigarette bomb right
that's
now.
why guys don't like me. I look like a fucking cigarette mom. I cough like one right now because like I'm over COVID now, but like I still have the cough.
Yeah,
So I look like
that's.
a fucking cigarette mom, and I have cough to match it. It works.
Oh, you never know what you're gonna get into, man.
God damn it.
Oh, we have fun here. Um, but like I think for me, this is just me though, speaking as a man.
Amen.
Um, hey man,
Amen.
hey man, brother. um,
Fuck.
I think for me personally, like I think some girls are better off having more guy friends than girlfriends because like some girls that you're friends with that could be kind of toxic
They
in
can be
some.
two-faced too.
Yeah, and whereas like some men, they can be two-faced, but then there's always that one or two dudes that are like very like, real and upfront with you, and I am very real and upfront with you a lot,
Yes, sometimes
too
a
much.
lot. But
uh,
I am too. I am too. I talk about girl things to guys because I'm a human. Like, yeah, I'm the opposite gender of you guys, but you guys need to be educated too about what us girls go through.
lobotomy.
Yes.
um,
Menstrual cycles.
menstrual cycle.
That's a big one.
So how does that work? It's like, oh, you don't even
I
want to know,
don't
bro.
even want to know, pal.
You don't even want to know.
Well, it's on my mind. I have a story to tell
Oh, brother.
about it's about when I was with my ex-boyfriend in high school. So apparently also this girl ended up moving away like the same year or the following year or whatever. So I don't even know how far we were into the relationship. I was still a junior in high school, so it was still a relatively new relationship. I remember my so-called friend at the time, I found out she was checking my boyfriend at the time out. Like she was checking him out. Like she was interested in him. And someone, I can't remember who it was, someone brought it to my attention. They told me about it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like at first I didn't believe it. But I never confronted her either. She ended up moving. So
Hmm.
to this day I don't know if she ever told him anything and I didn't know anything about it like from him or what. But that just goes to show girls can be a little sneaky, and it sucks. It really sucks that there's people like that out there. But now it's 2024. I really don't care. You can have him. But actually, no, she has a man already. She's actually married now, and she has a kid.
Hmm.
So golf clap, I guess. But yeah, anyone can have him. He's available. Go take him. We're good.
um.
I talked to him maybe I think oh yeah, I gotta update y'all on that situation.
Oh, brother.
Okay, so remember that situation last month where I told y'all I texted him and got nothing back?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Never
I
mind.
got a text back. We actually had a little conversation. And I was sending you everything. I had a little conversation with him, pretty much just kind of a catch up kind of conversation, nothing really too serious. Basically told him I moved out of the mountains. I'm back in town now. My dad got a new job. I talk to my mom now, finally. I go see her once or twice a week. I go hang out with her and my grandmother and my sisters, and everything's been kind of a
That's
mess
cool.
here, but we're getting through it. And I caught COVID. And the fucked up thing was when he texted me back finally, it was like about 2 or 3 weeks after I sent the original text. And at that time, I was dying. I had COVID.
I was
uh,
dying.
I'll tell you all about my COVID story after, but yeah,
Yeah,
we caught up and stuff, but unfortunately, he mentioned drinking again.
of
And
course.
I'm like, okay, so that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this right now on the fly. Drinking does not solve your problems, ladies and gents, and everything in between. Uh, it does not solve your problems. It only makes your problems worse. Like, if you are trying to get over a breakup, for example, don't drink. Don't drink your life away. I've done it. I tried it, and I actually almost died. So, yeah, it could take you to a really dark place. And this
Yeah.
year, this I think August, I think this August I'll be 3 years sober. So,
Woo! Let's
yeah.
go.
Um, but yeah, don't drink your life away. It's not good to even brag about it, like that saying like, oh, I'm gonna go get drunk, or oh, I'm drinking this, oh, I'm kind of buzzed right now. It's like I don't really care. Like it doesn't phase me that you're drinking. If anything, it kind of bothers me a little bit because it's like you're harming yourself and you don't realize it. You know?
Yeah. It's actually kind of cool that you actually brought that up because one of my coworkers, she had for the longest time, she was vaping and smoking and all that stuff,
Mm.
and it was kind of like a kind of hard habit to break for her a little bit because it was kind of like a coping mechanism for her. And then uh she recently, as of a month ago, I think she just stopped. She stopped, like, vaping and all that stuff altogether. Um and what was it? She said, like, if she had, quit vaping and smoking, like, like weed or whatever altogether, she would feel like she would just like go into a downward spiral. But I think it's just because, like, she's trying to, like, make sure that she's still coping with something, I guess. But it's like vaping, smoking, and and drinking and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, that's kind of, it's not a good thing to have. It's not a good thing to be, stoked about.
Right.
uh, but I'm actually kind of happy for her because it's like she has been trying to, like, try to keep that under control because, like, with her boyfriend away at basic training and all that stuff, it's like she's trying to, like, get her shit together.
Trying to keep it together.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
trying to keep it together while he's gone. Because she's actually told me and another coworker of mine, like, it's ruined, like, relationships before, it's ruined friendships before, it's ruined, like, a lot of
Yes.
things before. And she was just like, I just don't want to have that all over again. And I was like, hey, I completely understand that.
Yeah. I
Um,
almost ended up in that situation actually. I actually almost did because not this ex I'm talking about, but the ex before him, my very very first boyfriend ever that I had in high school. He was a senior, I was a sophomore. He ended up going into the Marines after he graduated.
oh
Unfortunately,
yeah,
we broke up. We broke up before that happened. Thankfully, honestly, because it would have been a mess dealing with that.
Mhm.
Considering he's dated a lot of girls. He's dated almost my whole entire high school, like few classes, like the junior and sophomore and shit classes or whatever. Yeah, he's been with a lot of girls, so it's like in a way I kind of dodged a bullet there. It is tough. It is definitely tough trying to date someone in the military and stuff. It takes a lot of trust. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Um, but, if she ever is ever listening to this, we love you,
Hmm.
big hearts. Um, but man, it's like I really want to talk about my past weekend, if that is okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna save the COVID stuff for the end.
Okay. So my past weekend, I went to, well, this was on Saturday. I went to Tampa, uh,
Mhm.
for a wrestling show. It was a 2-hour drive, cool. Um, but it's like, well, and plus I hadn't gotten my oil and filter change yet, so big ups. Um, I left that morning. I left my house that morning and like with like almost a full tank of gas. Got to the venue, and luckily enough, there's a gas station like right next to it, so that's another plus. Um, I arrived at that venue with like at half a tank, maybe a little bit over, like maybe like it was like almost to the half, but it was like that mark like before it. And then I left that venue, and then I reached home with like the notch before the E. Like that's how much gas I wasted
Oh
on
my
that one trip.
goodness.
But it was because of the oil and filter or the oil change that hasn't been done yet because the
Oh yeah,
oil
you're burning oil.
you're burning oil. Yeah, so
We
I gotta get that done kind of soon.
have to get ours done soon, actually. Thanks for reminding me.
Welcome. Um, that show was actually pretty cool. It's called Effie's Big Gay Brunch number 8. Um, and it's all about like you know non-binary people, gay people, and all that stuff just coming together and having a show and all that stuff. There was actual like drag queen that was there who hosted the thing. Um,
That's cool.
and plus like it's a brunch because like then they had breakfast stuff at a little bar. They had like eggs, bacon, pancakes, waffles.
I got eggs, bacon, potatoes. What? That's the wrong song.
That's the breakfast before
the
Thanksgiving.
the breakfast edition of the fucking Thanksgiving song.
I got eggs, potatoes,
Bacon, toast,
bacon,
pancakes,
biscuits, you name
waffles.
it. I got orange juice.
God damn it.
But I mean, everybody had a good time, like, and there was I even met Mansois and well, Mason Madden now. I met them before the show even started. Took a picture with them. It's all over Twitter. Um, and like they were super cool. I got to talk to them a little bit. I asked them like like what was it like like leaving WWE and like and doing your own thing on the indies, and they were saying like it was like good to have like that creative freedom again. I was like, yeah, because I was like, man, like they did not push you at all, like like, and they were like, it's like not like super like oh well, sorry, and and stuff. They were just like kind of like just down to earth, like super cool guys to talk to, especially Mason. Uh, he was just like he was just, and he's taller than me. He's really tall.
Jesus.
uh, and like he and I like we were like just talking a little bit like and then like I was like I was like, can I take a picture? And they're like, yeah, sure, and like we took some pictures and all that stuff. I didn't get any like shirts or anything because I was like I would have to take that home and like and all that stuff, and um but that was kind of cool. And then I got to talk to Steve Miza, who's of Mesa Media. Media. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his last name right. If you're watching, Steve, I'm so sorry. Um, but he's a guy that I've interacted with before on Twitter, and he's one of my Twitter friends who I got to meet in real life. And he's he's like a videographer and filmographer and all that stuff, and he's a photographer, and um he hands me his business card, and on the back it says like shooting, filmmaking, all that stuff. He's like, I should have worded the shooting part because it looks like he specializes in like shooting people. he's like next time when I do cards, I gotta make sure like that is perfect to like to specify what I'm shooting. But I got to like talk to him like a little bit. Like it was like kind of like a mini interview, but without like audio. And I was just like like don't I was at asking him like all these like different questions and all that stuff. And so like he was saying like he's been doing this for like 6 7 years, and he just now is like peaking at what he can do now, video wise and all that stuff. You can go find some of his stuff on Twitter. I think he's probably got a YouTube channel, probably somewhere. I don't know. But he's a really cool guy. Um, he's he's got a little bit of a lisp and like kind of like a stutter a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? That's awesome because like it's just like me. Like we all have our you know different personalities and stuff. And he's kind of like not shy, but he was just kind of like I don't know. It was very interesting talking to him. I wish I could have gotten like an interview with him, but it was actually pretty cool. And then the seats I had was like ringside seats. I showed you the picture of them. And I even saw like Nick Gage on the stage. he's just he's just jamming out. I wish I could have gotten to meet him, but that 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 ship has sailed. Um, what happened? Uh, oh, Effie the night before at that exact same venue, that Friday before, he had wrestled uh Mace or Mance Warner, who's also in MLW now, and
Hell yeah.
he had said like he got so bloody that he had received like so many staples in his head, and he wrestled the next day and still was able to go and wrestle like another match after losing a lot of blood the day before.
Damn.
That shows you how much dedication he has to this business.
I guess so.
Um, he was talking about like Ali Catch, like getting a contract somewhere and all that stuff, and uh, he was talking about like oh, what was it? He was like, "Fuck Ron DeSantis," all this stuff. I was like, all right, well, okay. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna judge him on that. So, but it was overall cool experience. And then Sunday I went to the medieval fair, and that was kind of cool. Got to meet up with my boss, and we just had a grand old time there. But that was my last week. That was my weekend. Last weekend.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Uh, GCW shows are always like you know kind of like family oriented, I guess, but it's not. It's not for little kids. It's for like like us grown adults. uh, but it's always a good time. I've always I've always wanted to go to GCW shows and all that stuff. So I've been to two in my lifetime. One last year and one this year. So hopefully more to come.
Hopefully, more to come. And maybe some concerts too.
Yeah, maybe. Uh, it's like I gotta follow that up.
And now I gotta fucking follow that up. Yeah. With fucking terrible fucking shit that happened in January with COVID. So, little backstory behind this one. So that okay, so I got sick on a Sunday. That like prior Thursday, I had went to bingo with my mom, my grandmother, and Corey and his man showed up for a little bit. Unfortunately, they didn't play because bingo started really late, and they had to be back in Plattsburgh by a certain time. So unfortunately, they didn't get to play, but I did get to see them, and it felt really good to see Corey because I hadn't seen him since 2021. So yeah. So we went to bingo. That night, I went home with a headache, and that headache actually did not go away at all the whole weekend. It carried on through Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday, I woke up with a severe sore throat. I thought nothing of it. I was like, okay, maybe it's just the dry air in my house. Like, I've had that happen before I wake up because my throat's really dry. I thought nothing of it. I went to Walmart that morning. Excuse me. I went to Walmart that morning. We had to go get a couple things. Uh, we were leaving Walmart, and I started getting really dizzy. Like, we were just getting done checking out, and I was getting really dizzy. Like, I felt really lightheaded. And all of a sudden, like, I started getting really hot. So, drive home, put the groceries away. I sit down. I start getting progressively worse. Like, my dizziness is getting really bad. Trying to think what else. I started feeling really, really tired, and I got chills. I had insane body aches and chills on the first day I was sick. It was to the extreme. It was a feeling that I could never describe. I've never had that feeling before in my life. The chills were so bad I could not get warm. I was under 5 different blankets and I could not get warm. I went to go take a nap. I could not sleep. My dad, like we both take a nap around the same time each day. About an hour and a half later, he wakes up. He comes in the room. He's like, "You can't sleep?" I'm like, "No, I'm bad. Like, I was getting really, really bad. Like, I had a headache. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I could barely even sit up and walk. My body ached so bad. The chills were really, really bad. Like, every time I had chills, the goosebumps would pop up in my body, and it would hurt to the extreme. Um, I had a really bad sore throat. I had a cough that was starting to come on. I was very congested. My chest was very congested, which I'll get to that later because that got worse over time, over the coming days. So my dad ended up giving me one of his blankets, which I never asked for because usually the blankets I have are sufficient enough. Um, so I ended up taking his blanket, and it actually helped. I actually warmed up. But unfortunately, I got too warm. The chills lasted from morning of Sunday all the way till the early morning hours of Monday, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm drenched in sweat. My shirt is soaked. And what that means is I had a fever. My fever broke in the middle of the night. And I guess that's what my mom was saying because I was texting her about it, telling her my symptoms. She's like, "Yeah, you probably had a fever and it most likely broke in the middle of the night." So that happened. So back to Sunday, I was bedridden for 3 quarters of the day. I could barely sit on the new couch that we have that reclines back. I could barely even sit on it because I couldn't sit still. My body hurt that much. I could not sit still. I had to keep getting up and laying on the floor. That's how bad I was the first day. I remember I went to bed at like 8 o'clock that night. I fell asleep super early. I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, drenched in sweat, dying of thirst. I had to get up and piss. And I remember I was so dizzy standing up. The dizziness was bad too. I meant to say that. I remember I was so dizzy trying to get to the bathroom. I almost fell over 2 times. um, so Monday comes along. I couldn't do anything about the sickness Sunday because nothing was open, no doctor's offices, all that crap. And I did not want to go sit in the emergency room or the clinic for 2 hours. So I waited till Monday. I felt really bad. I felt even worse that day. I called my doctor. Originally I called the clinic. Apparently they don't do COVID testing anymore. I was like, fuck that. I can't go there. I'm not going to the emergency room. And um, the only pharmacy that does COVID testing still is Walgreens, and they don't accept my insurance anymore. So I couldn't go there either. So my last resort, I had to call my doctor. So I called my doctor. Thank God they came in clutch. I had to drive up to the office with my dad. Curbside, obviously. I had to wear a mask. They brought me out 4 of those take-home COVID tests. I get home. I hurry up. I take 2 of them just to be sure because you never know. Sometimes the first one could go wrong. I took 2 of them. Both of them said positive. Like, without a doubt, they were positive. The pink line was a little faded on both of them, which means I literally had just gotten sick. There wasn't a lot of the COVID stuff in my system yet, which was odd because I was like full blown sick. So I tested positive. My dad tested negative. I had him take a test. He was negative, so he was good to go to work. Unfortunately, I was positive. So I just felt terrible. I texted my mom, like, "Hey, I'm positive for COVID. I won't be able to go see you this week." Um, and she felt so bad for me the whole time. She ended up having my sister drop off some Gatorade and some popsicles and some soup and some Vicks Vapor Rub for my chest. which I'm super grateful for that because that saved the day. That Vicks Vapor Rub saved the day. It
Yeah,
helped my congestion tenfold.
it always does for me too.
Oh, so fucking good. So that happened. My sister dropped it off at the front door. My mom texted me when they were leaving, and I went outside and grabbed it. Um, all that stuff helped. The popsicles, I had my mom get me popsicles for my throat because my throat was super, super bad. At one point in the middle of the night, on one of the nights I fell asleep, I thought my throat was closing up, and it woke me up.
Oh
I was
yeah.
actually quite scared about it. So that happened. So I fast forward to the rest of the week. I'm not getting any better. I was quarantined for 5 days, which is from Monday to Friday. Friday was the day I could start going out again with a mask. Unfortunately, I was not feeling any better. So I called my doctor again. And I actually had to wait for a callback because we had an ice storm that had hit like the night before. So they were short staffed that day. There was only one nurse on hand. So they had to pass my symptoms on to the nurse. They said they'd call me back. So they call me back about an hour or two later. The nurse calls me back and she asked me for a little more information, how long I've been sick for, have I had a fever and stuff like that. When was last time I had the fever and what is the symptoms at the moment. And I mentioned my chest because my chest and my throat both together were awful. I was coughing so much. Like I was coughing so hard to the point where I was actually thought I was going to puke. I was coughing up yellow stuff. It was just terrible. I had lost my taste and smell at that point. I couldn't taste anything. Food tasted terrible. I was so discouraged. Um but I think by far the worst thing of it was the cough and the chest. My chest was so congested. Like I couldn't breathe. I was actually having a hard time breathing going up 4 steps. 4 fucking steps on stairs to get into my house. I had a hard time breathing going up 4 steps. Like it literally felt like I was short winded. Like I was gasping for breath each time I was getting in the house. So the nurse said she'll have to send my information to the doctor over in Canton, which is another one of the community health centers in the North Country. There's one in Malone, one in Canton, Ogdensburg, all that stuff. So they had to send it to the one in Canton because there was no doctors on hand. So they called me back less than an hour later and they said they're going to fax over some medications to the pharmacy and I have to go pick them up the same day. They gave me an inhaler, which I've only had to use that inhaler maybe 3 times since I've had it, which is really good, which means the other pills they prescribed me worked. I was on antibiotics for 5 days. I just got off of those earlier this week. And I am still, at the time of recording this, I'm still on benzenate,
That's me.
which is for bronchitis.
Hmm.
So that tells me right there I had bronchitis, in my opinion, because they gave me the antibiotics, which is also for the bronchitis. I literally looked all this stuff up, like nurse nerd in me here. I looked up what these medications were for. Both the antibiotics and the other one I was just telling you about, they're both for bronchitis to treat chest infections. So I was like, okay, there's my answer. I had bronchitis. Um, I mean, it was nice. I didn't have to go to a doctor's office to get looked at in a way. I could just do it over the phone. So hats off to the community health center in Malone. Hats off to them. Uh, they really nailed it on the head because those pills actually helped. I'm like I said, I'm still taking the benzenate stuff right now. I will be off of that by Monday. Monday morning, I'll be having my last dose of it. It actually has helped. Like, yeah, I still have a little cough, but I'm not coughing stuff up anymore. So that means the infection's out of my system. But my God, this was by far the worst sickness I've had since I had that really bad UTI in 2022 during the summer. This was really bad. I I was so discouraged with the fact that I lost my sense of taste and my sense of smell. It was mainly the taste that really bothered me because I couldn't really eat anything. Everything tasted sour or funky or bland, and it was gross. I couldn't even eat onions. Like onions tasted terrible to me. And the thing is, I ended up getting a direct sub during the time I was sick. And if you know me, I love Drex. It's like my go-to, like fast food place of all time. I had a direct sub. I could not taste a single bite.
Damn.
You want to talk about heartbreak, Dystro. You want to talk about heartbreak. Just imagine not being able. So picture your favorite food right now. What's your favorite food?
Um, I guess a McChicken from McDonald's or something. I don't know.
Picture not being able to taste it at all or having it taste really bland.
That would be just terrible.
I was heartbroken. Like, I'm not even being dramatic either. Like, I was so discouraged. I ended up losing about 10 pounds from being sick because I was not eating much. I had no appetite. I lost about 10 pounds. And it actually showed. Like, my freaking belly felt small. Like, I felt so unhealthy with the fact I lost that much weight in a short amount of time. But
I mean, at least it's like it's done and it's out of your system
I was just
now.
about to say that. Thank God it is over. Thank God it's over. I never want to go through it again. It was terrible. Like I'm never bedridden, like ever. I was bedridden for like almost that whole week. Like I barely got up to watch TV with my dad. I was in my room and I didn't even get on Xbox the whole week. That's how sick I was. You know I'm sick when I don't play video games for a week. I didn't even get on the podcast for a week. I couldn't record with you.
Yeah.
I had barely any voice. I was just dead. Like I watched SpongeBob the whole week on my TV.
And, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I barely touched my phone the whole week. I remember like I'd wake up from a nap, my phone would be blowing up a message like, "Oh shit, I haven't checked my phone in like half a day." Um, I remember you guys were worried about me for a while.
Yeah. Because Mama Dystro, she was, I was telling her about it, and she was like, the only thing to do is, like drink some fluids and drink, like try to like rest as much as you can, all that stuff. And like, when plus, because she and Papa Dystro, they went through what you went through not too long ago because she had bronchitis first, and then she had COVID, and then when or no, she had COVID first, and then she had bronchitis, and then Papadasher he had bronchitis, and then he got COVID.
Ugh, what a
so
combination.
so it was just it was just flip flop for both of them, but I was just like, damn. But luckily enough, I hadn't um, gotten that bad in a while. So, but so glad that you're, feeling a little bit better
Oh, I'm way better.
and way better. Yeah, I'm so glad that you can.
I feel like my fucking voice has changed too, like from the COVID. Like I feel like my voice is like fresher now. Like I have more energy now, I find.
I mean, true.
Like I feel like more peppy.
More a little pep in your step.
Hell yes.
Oh no, no, pep in your step.
Anyways, we've gone on long enough. That wraps up episode 16 of Shoot the Shit. We hope you enjoyed. It's been a crazy start to the year. I really hope February does better for us. I mean, Valentine's Day is coming up, so I mean, there's a fucking shitter right there, but I hate Valentine's Day. What?
I said February wins.
Yes. And I'm not getting anything for fucking Valentine's Day. Sad.
Oh, well,
Or I mean, excuse me. I mean, we're listening to Simple Plan that night, but still, fuck.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a gift in itself.
Yeah. I don't know. I just Valentine's Day hasn't been the same since I've been single, so
Yeah, I mean, hey, you never know.
mm, yeah. Anyways,
Just
so before we wrap this up, our next episode we're actually doing a debate hour. Debate hour. I was waiting for you to do it.
it's like I wish we like had our own editor.
I
or
wish we had our
something.
own soundboard. I wish, like, okay, I wish the Anchor, Spotify, Anchor, whatever you want to call it, Spotify Podcasters app, I wish they had a soundboard. That would be so cool. Like, they
I
need to
mean,
do
that would
that.
be cool, but it's like we're never gonna get that.
You never know. You never know. You never know, my dude. Anyways, so our debate hour. I know we said we're done with Fall Out Boy. Not quite yet. We
Psych.
we are doing pre-hiatus Fall Out Boy versus post-hiatus Fall Out Boy. So I'm talking from Take This
Debut
to Your
to
Grave to Folly Ado, and then post-hiatus, which is Save Rock and Roll up to modern day So Much for Stardust. So we're gonna compare and contrast both eras of Fall Out Boy, the highs and lows, everything in between. And we're gonna pick which era we enjoyed more. It's going to be very interesting because actually, you know what? I'm not going to say anything because it's going to spoil my decision. But all I can say is it's going to be very interesting.
I already know my decision already.
I'm actually still coming up with one, to be honest, but can't really say much.
Mm.
So that'll be this Thursday coming up. You will not want to miss it, especially if you're a Fall Out Boy fan, like me and Dystro over here.
Right, right.
I also have tonight's song of the
Ugh.
night. So it is February, and there's two songs that start with February. One of them I will have already used at this point. Um, so might as well go with the other one. I'm talking Foo Fighters. Yes, Foo Fighters February Stars from not Echoes. Why am I always saying Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace? It's not that album. It's the
Color and the
color and the
shape.
shape. It's because I heard The Pretender earlier. I heard it on Show'em, and I thought of the album right away. I thought of Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace because I'm long overdue to re-listen to it. But anyways, yeah, February Stars from The Color and the Shape by the Foo Fighters. That's tonight's song of the night. That song has always gotten me through winter. Um, I used to have seasonal depression. I don't anymore because I live in town now and I'm around people all the time. So my seasonal depression has kind of faded away, but it doesn't mean I still don't go through hard times during winter season. So this song has always gotten me through everything. So that's tonight's song of the night. If you guys want to go ahead and listen to it, there will be a link at the top right hand corner of this episode at the very end. There is no music video, so you'll just be getting the audio from me. So go ahead and take a listen. It's not a bad song at all. It's very
Mm-hmm.
good. It's very mellow, but it's very good. It really encapsulates the vibe of the color and the shape very well.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Be sure to go ahead and follow us on social media by clicking on that link in the description below, which will take you to Linktree. We have Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter. Go ahead and follow us there to keep up to date with the show, as well as that community tab on our YouTube channel. That as well is where you'll find all of our updates on whether one of us takes sick or technical difficulties or everything in between. So it's very important to keep up to date with us anywhere and anytime possible. Also, Dystro's gaming YouTube channel is there as well. We just recently played GTA together, you, me, and Ken's, and my god, what a fun night that was.
Uh, that's to say, at the time of this recording, that clip of Ken's doing the fidget spinner on that semi truck, that's on the podcast channel, by the way.
So good.
And then me hitting Ken so hard that he got hit by a car, that's on my channel. Uh, but my sub count right now, I know you're getting into that. My sub count right now is at 1,136 or 37. It's like it was at 37, but then it went down to 36. So, right. But the goal is to get to 1,200 by Valentine's Day, I think we said.
Yeah, I think it's around Valentine's Day.
So, uh,
So,
not too far away.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like literally in a few days as when this episode comes out. So
Yeah, when this episode comes out, it's in literally a few days. Yeah.
yeah. So, please go on ahead and subscribe to Dash's YouTube channel. Share stuff around, give him some love. Once again, take a listen to tonight's song of the night, February Stars by the Foo Fighters. And that's it. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you guys this Thursday. Peace.
Peace.